Hello boys and girls, my name's Tom and today we've returned from our week off to attend our good friend's wedding. See evidence here. And you know when you put something down and then you leave the room and then you come back but that thing isn't where you remember putting it? Well, I could have sworn I left our release day on a Sunday, but now it's a Wednesday. This is Safehouse. There hasn't been a great deal of meaty news in the entertainment world as of late, but lots of little tidbits, such as AMC ordering a full series of Garth Ennis's classic comic Preacher, brought to the screen by Seth Rogen, a teaser and release date for Marvel's new Netflix show Jessica Jones, and production soon to begin for Wonder Woman, Mallrats 2 and Star Wars 8. Lots of new stuff coming our way, but as one project blooms, another must die. So here's my good friend and co-host James Pickard to talk about a show cancelled before its time.
Hello and welcome to the new Pickard Corner. It's pretty nice over here. We've got Twin Peaks DVD, so I'm happy. Unfortunately, I'm here to talk to you about some hugely disappointing news with the cancellation of NBC's Hannibal. The show managed to capture the attention of critics for a long time, but unfortunately audiences did not seem to take to it for some reason. Maybe because it was a bit weird. But exactly why did it perform so poorly with audiences? I think it mainly comes down to viewer expectations. The way it was billed was kind of a CSI Hannibal, where Will Graham and Hannibal would team up to solve some horrible murders. But in fact, it was a whole lot different to that. It was more of an obscure psychological thriller that explored the relationship between Will and Hannibal, then becoming friends, enemies, friends again, lovers, friends again, enemies again. It was all a bit up and down for them. The thing with the show as well is it never really fed you any scraps. Everything was the finest cuts. Take the dialogue, for example. Imagine it as the finest piece of fillet steak, rich and juicy with texture and meaning, and the characters would savour every line they had to deliver. And that same sort of attention was given to other parts of the show. Its gore and violence was, pretty gory and pretty violent. But it had that same sort of something to it. It's a show that could be incredibly self-indulgent at times, and it would often require your full attention to really get to grips with it. And pinning it amongst the likes of Grey's Anatomy and Criminal Minds on Sky Living really didn't do it any favours. There's still some hope for the show to continue in the future though. Some streaming companies were interested a while back, but some of those deals may have fallen through. And the creator Brian Fuller is still hopeful that a movie deal could come to light. It would be a shame to waste such a great cast and such a strong show that was only just hitting its stride.
So I finished the new Mad Max game the other day. It's pretty bleak. Good game though. Basically Assassin's Creed set in post-apocalyptic Australia, but without the walking simulator bits or that thing where your face disappears sometimes. It's not explicitly stated when within the timeline it all takes place, but it draws heavily from Fury Road, which is the fourth instalment in the series created by George Miller, and the first in which Tom Hardy took over from Mel Gibson, playing the road cop gone mad Max Rokitansky. But I'm sure none of this is news to you. These are things you probably already knew. Well, here's some things you didn't know. It's a little known fact that during filming of the 1979 original, director George Miller paid a lot of the extras and crew with crates of beer. A lesser known fact is that the main cast also accepted alternate forms of payment, with Hugh Keays-Byrne playing the villain Toe Cutter for 3 sausage rolls and a copy of Razzle, and Mel Gibson playing Max himself for a gallon jug full of the tears of Jewish children. Speaking of Hugh Keays-Byrne, you may have noticed he not only played Toe Cutter in the original film, but also he played the primary antagonist Immortan Joe in Fury Road. But these aren't the only characters he's portrayed in the Mad Max saga. He was also the gyrocopter captain, Auntie Entity, Master and Blaster, and thanks to some fantastic practical effects, he also played Max's V8 Interceptor. Tom Hardy took over as Max Rokitansky in the latest film, but Mel Gibson returning to the role wasn't always out of the question. George Miller formulated the plan for a 4th instalment in the series back in 1998, and had it not spent so many years in development hell, we would have seen Mel Gibson don the leather jacket once more. However, the role went to Hardy because Mel Gibson lost his fucking mind somewhere around the mid-2000s. In early drafts of the Beyond Thunderdome script, the steel and mesh cage wouldn't have been used for duels to the death, but for speed painting competitions, and would have been set in Arty Town. Charlize Theron shined in Fury Road as Imperator Furiosa, the robot-armed badass former lieutenant of Immortan Joe. While the character of Furiosa was always set for centre stage in the film, Charlize Theron wasn't the first pick to play her. Originally, George Miller wanted the character played by Hugh Keays-Byrne, known for his previous roles in the Mad Max saga as Lord Humongous, the Feral Kid, and This Dog.
Unfortunately, there's a sense of finality to all my segments this week, as the thing of the week for this week is Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, the final entry in Kojima's bonkers stealth action series. It's also likely to be the last good thing Konami do now that they're exclusively making Pro Evolution Soccer and pachinko machines, because money. But enough about greed, let's talk about the game. It's brilliant, it's fantastic. It's probably the best Metal Gear Solid ever made. It's an open world game that gives you absolute freedom to take any approach you want in missions, whether you want to sneak in the middle of the night to rescue a prisoner, or call down fire support from your chopper to the sound of Aha's Take On Me. And despite Konami's attempts to scrub his name from the box and all marketing materials, it's clearly a Kojima game, right down to all the good and bad that entails. The good? The completely bonkers enemy design, including the Skulls unit, a branch of super fast, super quick, super soldiers who manage to turn anyone around you into zombies of some kind, and all the hugely perplexing scenarios he throws you in, including the game's prologue, which takes a lot to be explained. And then the bad, like quiet. Just quiet, basically. Still, while so many games out there are using that tried and true Ubisoft open world formula, MGS5 reminds us of the possibilities of an open world, delivering some of the most interesting and exciting tactical espionage operations. Get it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I sit before you with the grave task of informing you that the end of the world as we know it draws near. The skies will fall, the oceans will boil, and society will be thrown back to the Stone Age. Because we're getting an augmented reality Pokemon game. Pokemon Go is a mobile game for Android and Apple devices in which players can catch, trade and battle their Pokemon with the people around them in an effort to integrate die-hard Pokemon fans into the real world. Your mobile device, or if you're willing to pay for it, the Pokemon Go Plus Bluetooth accessory, will notify you of wild Pokemon in your vicinity. You then seek them out, pick your Pokeball of choice, and try to catch them to add them to your collection. This will of course be fantastic for the person playing, but utterly terrifying for people with no awareness of this game. Yes, police, a man has just walked into my garden and is waving his arms around shouting something about a Diglett, please send help. Now it stands to reason that these encounters will be randomised, so there's a chance you'll come across a Metapod you don't want. Because no one wants you, Metapod, you're not welcome here. But this isn't a problem, as you can trade your shitty Metapod for something good, like a... Hold on, is she trading a Bulbasaur for a Vulpix? Do you not know how good Bulbasaur is? Fucked it. After you finish conning children to take your garbage Pokemon off your hands, you can go into battle with your friends, or in the case of this trailer, strangers, which is proper rude. Team battles are also available, so you and your mates can impress the girls at the skate park. This part of the video clearly written by someone who has no idea what young people actually do. And then of course you can experience what appears to be some sort of media blackout leading to a raid mode where you and countless others take on powerful legendary level Pokemon like Mewtwo, leading to a blurry line between a riot and a flash mob as hundreds of people wave their arms around while looking at their phones. That being said though, this bit looks really cool. Pokemon Go is due for release in 2016, and for maximum societal collapse potential the game will be free to play, which is just as well because soon after money will lose all value and we'll have to return to some sort of bartering system, like trading a Bulbasaur for a Vulpix. That's about everything for this week.
Yeah, if you enjoy spending time in our company, feel free to like, comment and subscribe on the videos.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with more entertainment news, so thanks very much for watching and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.